Hello. Yes. So I hope you can see me now. So my name is Vishnu Chaitanya, and I'm your trainer for today. We are going to look at a demo class of IELTS. So thank you so much for waiting. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes. I'm able.
Right. Did you listen to what I said before? Because
are you hearing me?
Yes. Am I audible to you? If I'd request you guys to just mute your mic and text me whether you can hear me or not. You could just raise your hand if you know how to raise a hand in Zoom. All right. So I hope you can listen to me. I hope I'm audible. Yes, that's how you raise a hand. And Ravi Kiran, that's right. So let's get started with the demo class. Today we are going to look at IELTS writing strategies and what are the things you should take care in writing module. And we are going to look at the different types of questions, right? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm just getting some messages. Give me a few minutes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is it Anil who is speaking now?
Yeah, sir. I am Anil.
All right. Anil, could you please mute your mic, and we are going to start the session in 1 minute. I'm going to share a screen with you in which you can see the presentation and you can look at the presentations on the screen. Meanwhile, I'll be explaining the things to you, right? So here we go. All right. And I'm going to start with the thought that all of you guys are new to IELTS, and this is how we are going to write. I'll give you a basic information about IELTS. IELTS is actually an international English testing system, you know that, and which is conducted by Cambridge University. And Cambridge University has entrusted two agencies called the British Council and the IDP to conduct exams all throughout the world, right? And so the exam pattern is pretty much same for both IDP and British Council. The only change with these two agencies is that they conduct exams at different venues, except that the questions are same, the pattern of questions are same, marking criteria are same, everything is same except for the venues and the style of conducting the exam, right? Even the fees are also same. Now, today we are going to look at IELTS writing specifically, especially task 2 in IELTS writing, which is an essay. It is same for both academic version as well as the general training version of IELTS. Both students as well as the people who are trying to migrate to some English speaking countries has to write IELTS writing task 2 as an essay, right? So here is some writing strategies. So we have to review your grammar when you write. And before attending the test, you have to build a vocabulary base and build an idea bank and practice by writing and editing. right? And find someone to check your answer. So these are some steps you should practice before you appear for the exam. And on the right hand side of the screen, you can see on the presentation, you can see some common topics that's gonna be asked in the exam. This is nothing but education. Sometimes they ask about health, environment, transportation, media, communication, advertisements. So this is a list of topics which is usually asked as an essay topic in the IELTS writing task too. All right. I'm sorry to stop in between. There is another person who joined the meeting. I just want to make sure who that person is. Just give me one more minute. Hi, the name shows DVS, and I'm not sure who that person is. Could you please tell me your name, brother or sister?
Sir, I am Ravi Kiran or my father. Just only I am in silent mode. I don't do anything, sir.
All right, no problem. You can mute your mic, brother, sir.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, so these are some topics, list of topics that they're gonna ask in the exam, most usually. I mean, not direct questions. Sometimes, you know, for example, in case of education, they might ask you, discuss the advantages of online education or campus-based learning, right? So, or do the advantages of online learning outweigh the disadvantages of online learning? So some questions like that. So they're basically trying to test uh, whether you are able to write your opinion clearly and state your opinion clearly and convey your message to the reader. So we are going to look at the different types of questions, right? These are some different topics they're going to ask. Now let's see some question types. So 6 types of questions basically. Argument type of question in which you need to write an opinion of yours, and there might be 2 arguments. Some people might be saying this side, some others will be supporting the other side. So there is an argument basically. So you need to write, you need to analyze the arguments, both arguments, and then write your opinion. That's an argument type of question. And coming to causes and solution, in which you don't have to write an opinion basically, but you have to enlist the causes for a certain, a particular problem and suggest some solutions to that. For example, mm, poverty. So what are the causes of poverty in a society, and what solutions do you suggest to alleviate poverty from the society? Something like that. So in case of a discussion, that's it's a toss, like you may or may not write an opinion for a discussion type of question, which we are going to see in the coming slides. In comparison, you compare both sides and analyze which is better and what do you think about one or the other. And in pros and cons, you have to write about the advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes you need to weigh both sides and see which one is better, which one is more. And in 2-part questions, again, sometimes they ask for your opinion and sometimes not. So from this, it is very clear that in the case of causes and solution, you don't need to write an opinion. But in the case of argument, definitely you need to write an opinion. Except for those 2, all other types of questions may or may not require your opinion in the essay. All right. So just can anybody unmute your mic and tell me whether I'm going too fast or confusing? Am I clear until now? Can anybody just type in a message or say something? Yes, yes.
Hello, sir. Hi, Anil.
Yep. Anil, am I going too
Yes,
fast?
sir. I'm comfortable with your conversation. I am understand whole what you are going to deliver. So
All
no
right.
problem at all.
Thank you so
Continue
much.
with the same.
Thank you so much. I hope it's the same with other people as well. I got a message here. Just so he's saying he's comfortable. All right. And Neha, Bhavna, and Ravi Kiran, I hope you guys are also comfortable here. I didn't get any reply from Bhavana, Ravi, I got a hand raised, but from the other 2 people. I don't know if you guys are still here with us. Okay, just a minute. All right. Thank you, Bhavana. I didn't get any reply from Neha though. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna continue anyways. We have a very short time. All right. So now, see, these are some examples of opinion type of questions. First, look at the question number 1 on the right side. Big salary is much more important than job satisfaction. Do you agree or disagree? Provide relevant examples if necessary, right? Here, they're asking whether you agree. They gave a statement in the beginning. Big salary is important than job satisfaction, right? 2 keywords. Do you agree or disagree? So you have to choose one or the other, right? And here it is very clear, you have to state your opinion. Do you agree or disagree? You have to take either of the side, whether you agree or disagree. Yes, I do agree with the statement, salary is much more important than job satisfaction, or I completely disagree to the statement. It's always the job satisfaction which is more important than salary. You could take any of the sides. So this is one example of opinion type of essay in which you have to state your opinion and support your opinion with relevant examples. So if you look at the left side here, you can see different types of questions in which they ask your opinion. This is how they ask your opinion. If you see these kinds of, I mean, these parts in your question, you can understand basically they're asking for your opinion. Do you agree? Do you agree with the statement? To what extent do you agree or disagree? I mean, this is quite confusing. Some people might say, I don't completely agree, or I partially agree. You don't have to do that even if you see to what extent, because it's the same meaning as do you agree or disagree. All right. So, and I always suggest to take one side completely. Don't say I'm partially agreeing with that or partially disagree. See, in real life, you may have to take such stances, but in case of IELTS writing, please don't do that because you might end up confusing or making it complex while writing your essay, because you have to state both sides. Otherwise, if you take one side, it is very easy. You can just support one side and blindly oppose the other side, right? Which is easy in case of an exam. And to what extent do you agree with this view? Same as do you agree or disagree? Opinion is being asked. Do you agree that so and so is right? In your opinion, how can we improve something like that? So these are some examples, right? This is just a demo class, so I'm not going to go in detail of all these questions. I'm going to go to the next slide. All right. So now hybrid type of questions, right? Sometimes you need to write the opinion, sometimes not. Do you agree with this? Let's see some example here. Some people believe that basing teachers' salaries on the success of students will encourage them to work harder, right? Discuss the advantages of this approach and say whether you agree with it. Here you have to do 2 tasks, right? You have 2 things to do. Discuss the advantages, means you have to elaborate the advantages of this kind of approach, and then say whether you agree with that. So it's basically asking for your opinion, definitely, because whether you agree means do you agree? So opinion is needed. And at the same time, you have to discuss the advantages as well. So this is a kind of hybrid type of question in which opinion is asked and you're asked to do some other task as well. So come to the left-hand side and see these parts. If you see these parts, any of these parts in your question, that basically means you have to do 2 tasks. Which approach do you think is better? Opinion is being asked. Discuss both views and give your opinion. You have to discuss the both sides or both views and then state which is better. Compare these views and say whether you agree with. So you have to compare the pros and cons of one with the other and say, okay, I go with this one, right? So this is a hybrid type of question. Here you may or may not write your opinion. Now, no opinion type of question. Here you discuss both. For example, the free movement of goods across national borders has long been a controversial issue. Some people argue that it is necessary for economic growth, while others claim that it damages local industries. Discuss both views. Just a minute. I just got a call here. I'm so sorry to. Yeah, sorry about that. So here, discuss both views, which means you don't have to write any opinion. You just have to mention about the two sides, like elaborate about the two views pointed out in the question. So for example, in this question, which is given here, what are the two things? The free movement of goods across national borders has long been a controversial issue. Some people argue that it is necessary for economic growth, while others claim it damages local industries. So it damages local industries, one side, and it's necessary for economic growth, the other side, right? So there are two groups of people who say exactly the opposite things. So you have to discuss both the sides. That's what you have to do. Discuss both views. That's all. You don't have to say which one you agree with. I hope I'm clear here. All right. So what I'm trying to say is these are different types of questions that you're gonna encounter in an IELTS exam. So you have to basically see and learn how to interpret these questions correctly and what are the tasks you need to achieve in each type of question. Now, these are the steps involved in writing an introduction. Writing an essay as a whole. You have to write an appealing introduction, then frame elaborative and precise body paragraphs, write relevant examples to support your arguments, and finish the essay by writing a convincing conclusion. These are the 4 steps, very simple steps, but at the same time complex, right? It becomes complex when you try to infest the essay with a lot of points, a lot of arguments. So we have a style of writing, we have to follow a particular structure in writing an essay, right? So which we are going to see in the coming slides. So how to write an introduction? Introduction should be so appealing in such a way that if as a reader, an examiner reads the introduction first. So when he or she reads the introduction, it should engage them to complete the reading of the essay. That's what we should do. That is the purpose of an introduction, an appealing introduction, right? So how to write an appealing introduction? What are the steps involved in an introduction? Or what are the questions we should address in writing an introduction? That's what we are going to see here. An introduction altogether should be completed in 3 to 4 sentences, right? And the first thing you have to address here is what is the topic? What are you trying to say about in the essay? So we call that as a hook statement. So what is the function of a hook basically? So hook is to hook something, right? You connect with something. So you connect with this statement and the reader. So the reader should feel that curiosity in them to complete the reading. So that's what we mean by hook statement. You write that statement and hook or connect the interest of the reader to complete the essay, right? That's a hook statement. That's the first thing, which is an optional thing in IELTS essay writing. You don't have to write a hook statement compulsorily in IELTS essay. It's an option, right? And next, what is the second step? What is the question or debate? You have to paraphrase the question in an introduction. You have to basically rewrite what is given as a question. That's the second step, right? And then coming to what is opinion, right? We have to state our opinion if we are asked to do that. We have seen that there are questions which ask for opinion and there are questions which do not ask for your opinion. In case they ask for your opinion, then definitely you should mention your opinion and say why you choose to have this opinion or why you selected this side of the argument, right? These are the 4 steps that is involved in writing an appealing introduction, right? So it doesn't matter what essay or what question type you're writing. This is actually a roadmap to the train of thoughts until the conclusion, right? So this is how an introduction should be written. All right. So now let's see how to write a hook statement. A hook statement, right? So even though it is not important for IELTS writing, it will be really good if you could write one hook statement, right? It introduces the topic to the reader indirectly. A hook statement doesn't give direct connection to what you're going to write. It indirectly introduces the topic. It hooks the reader's attention, right? It tells the reader why the topic should be discussed. That's the important point. It tells the reader why the topic should be discussed. What is the relevance of saying or discussing this matter? That's what is meant by hook statement. And the best way to achieve a hook statement is by achieving three goals, right? We have three methods to write a good hook statement. I've seen many people spending a lot of time thinking about what should be a good introductory line or what should be the first sentence of an IELTS essay. They spend a lot of time. They waste a lot of time actually thinking about what should a hook statement be. But instead of wasting a lot of time thinking about a hook statement, there are some certain methods to do that effectively. And the first method, state why the topic is important, right? What is the relevance of that topic? Hmm? And there is another method in which you talk about a recent development that impacts the topic, right? Something new happened in that realm of the uh, uh, world, right? Or in that section of the topic, or talk about what impact the topic plays on our daily lives of society, how it is impacting our lives. And that is third method. So here are the three methods in which you write a hook statement. You take the topic and see what is the relevance of discussing the topic and why the topic is important. That you can make that into a sentence, which could be a hook statement. Or second method, by talking about a recent development that happened in the section or the matter what we're discussing, right? That could be a hook statement. Or the last way to write, I mean, it's not the last way, but uh, another way of writing it is talk about what impact the topic plays on our daily lives of society. Now, so so this is how we are going to look at. I'm sorry. Hello, I hope you can see me. So this is how we are going to look at the whole class actually. We are going to deal with each section of IELTS writing like this. I hope this was helpful and this gave you an idea about how my classes is going to be, right? Somebody, could you please unmute your mic and tell me how you felt about it? Anybody? We almost have 37 to 40 slides in this presentation, which is very difficult to complete now in this short span of time. So what I'm gonna do is just wanna get some feedback from you guys. I don't get anything from you. Can you just tell me how you felt? Okay, you got the brief. I mean, I don't know how brief that was, Jiso, but I didn't mean to give you any kind of briefing in this demo class. This class is just meant to give you an idea about how my class is going to be, how the presentations are, like whether you are able to follow my speech, and if you think it is going to help you in any way, right? So that's what basically this class is meant to be. Jiso has definitely told what he feels about the class, and yes, somebody else. Can anybody mute your mic? I mean, unmute your mic and tell me what you felt. Hello, I think it's Anil.
Hello.
Yeah, Anil.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm very, yeah. Sir, just this is my first demo class with you, and I hear you clearly, and I'm comfortable with the content you have delivered. Presentation slides is also presentation slides also very presentable manners, and little bit I am a little bit got the problem to hear your voice earlier, but afterward it is comfortable, I think.
All right.
So.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this class with another slide. I'm going to explain one more slide and I'm going to end the session. And after the session, I'll try to call you individually and discuss what you felt and how you felt about it, right? So let's go back to the slide once again, and we are going to end with that slide. So we discussed about this components or writing of hook statement. Now let's see an example of hook statement, right? Here, see, the invention of the printing press in the 15th century changed the world by allowing more and more people to afford and access books and information. Today, however, books are becoming the latest victim of technology's move toward digital storage and accessibility. In fact, some people believe that the world will soon stop printing books and everything will be read off a screen. Do you agree that printed books will eventually disappear? Why or why not? Right? So basically, what are they asking? They're saying the printing press was invented in the 15th century and it changed the world, and more people could afford and access books and information. But now, what is happening? Books are becoming the latest victim of technology's move towards digital storage. Like information can now be stored on chips and mobile phones and whatnot, right? And they can be accessible. I mean, they are accessed from the comfort of a fingertip, right? So now this kind of technology, this kind of advancement is keeping our books at stake. The the relevance of books at stake, right? So they are afraid whether the books are going to disappear eventually, right? So now we have to say whether you agree with this statement or not. That's what we are going to, I mean, that's what we are asked to do in this essay. How can we write a hook statement for this? We are not going to discuss about the complete essay. We are just trying to write a hook statement here. So how? Here, see, books have been a central source of information for centuries. That's a hook statement. So, which basically conveys the meaning you're trying to say something about book, right? You're trying to say something about books, which have been a central source of information for centuries. So, what is happening now, right? What is going to happen now? That curiosity is created among the reader when you read that first sentence. Which method have we used here, right? Here we use the first method. State why the topic is important. Why the topic is important? Because books have been a central source of information for centuries. Right? Now come to second example. While books have been a central source of information for centuries, some people believe that modern technology will soon make printed materials obsolete. Right? Now, this is written with the help of second method. Talk about a recent development that impacts the topic. The recent development is modern technology. And how does it impact the topic? People think that printed materials are going to be obsolete or they are going to disappear. Right? This is how it impacts, recent development impacts the matter of discussion here. So this is the second method of writing a hook statement. Now, third example. For centuries, books have been humanity's greatest source of information. Right? All right. This is how we write the hook statement in method 3. Talk about what impacts the topic, what impact the topic plays on our daily lives or society, right? For centuries, books have been humanity's greatest source of information. In our life, books have been the only source of information for many centuries. So that's how it plays an impact in our daily life. So these are some examples of how we write a hook statement. By reading this first statement, the reader or the examiner feels that curiosity of continuing to read. That's what we intend to create by writing a hook statement, right? So I hope you understood this. And now there are a lot of slides coming, like how to paraphrase. We are going to see how to write an opinion statement, then how to write opinion statement for different types of questions. All kinds of explanations and classes are going to come. So meanwhile, let me stop here, and I'm gonna run out of time here. So I hope you enjoyed the demo class, and you got, I certainly believe you got an idea about how the classes is going to be and whether you can be beneficial from the class or not. So thank you so much for attending, and I would give another minute for you to ask some questions if you have any. You can raise any questions or doubts if you have. Or if you want me to call you directly on your phone and discuss about this thing, I can do that as well. Please say yes or no. Thank you, Jessel. I'll call you later. I'm waiting for the replies from Anil, Bhavana, Ravikiran, and Neha. Absolutely, Anil. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll call you later. You can go ahead and attend. Sure. Sure. All right. Thank you so much. And I'm going to end the session here. And I'm not getting any reply from Neha.